So the future of a 500-year-old, fiercely traditional Scottish game isn't actually happening on some misty coastal links course anymore.
Right, definitely not.
Yeah, right now it's being coded by a supercomputer in California, and it's actually being grown inside a concrete parking lot down in Palm Beach.
Which is just wild to think about.
It really is. Welcome to today's deep dive. We are so thrilled to have you with us today. We are opening up a massive stack of sources here.
A huge stack, yeah.
I mean, we've got industry market forecasts, op-eds from some of the most experienced golf journalists in the world, technical reviews from CES 2026, and some incredibly granular analytics on how golf media is consumed globally.
And we're using all of those materials to investigate the radical transformation of golf in 2026. The tension between golf's quiet, rich tradition and its incredibly rapid modernization is, well, it's what makes this moment so entirely fascinating.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to figure out what the golfer of the future actually looks like. Because, I mean, this isn't just about an ancient game getting a superficial digital facelift.
Not at all.
We are looking at how advanced equipment engineering, pressing environmental realities, and the massive creator economy are fundamentally rewriting how the game is played, governed, and watched.
Yeah, and it impacts everyone.
Exactly. From touring pros battling for majors, all the way down to you and your friends playing a weekend scramble.
It is a complete ecosystem overhaul. We're seeing a paradigm shift that touches every single touch point of the sport.
Okay, let's unpack this by starting right in the golfer's hands. Technology has moved way past being just a shiny buzzword slapped on a commercial.
Oh, for sure.
It's now an invisible necessity integrated into the physical tools of the game. So let's talk about the silicon swing.
Yeah, the silicon swing. I mean, artificial intelligence has fundamentally changed club engineering. It's completely shifted away from human trial and error.
Right.
Take Callaway's Paradigm AI smoke line as the prime example. Callaway utilized machine learning to ingest and analyze data from 250,000 real-world golf swings.
250,000.
Yeah, real swings from everyday players. And then their supercomputer ran 50,000 unique iterations to create what they call the AI smart face.
So instead of just a flat, polished piece of titanium, what are we actually looking at there?
You're looking at a topography of
So it is actively saving you from yourself.
pretty much, yeah.
That is nuts. And it isn't just the club head doing the thinking, right? I mean, at CES 2026, the Innovation Award went to something called the G-Grip.
Oh yeah, the G-Grip is fascinating.
It's a golf club with microscopic sensors embedded right into the rubber grip. It monitors your grip pressure and the minute motions of your hands, and then sends real-time corrections straight to an app on your phone.
Which is crucial, because any golf pro will tell you that physical tension in your hands kills your swing speed.
Right, and leaves the club face wide open.
Exactly. And hardware like that is now being paired with an entirely new generation of software, applications like Tangent's AI Caddie, Golf Fix, and Deep Swing.
Right.
They are moving away from aggressively trying to fix your biomechanics, which, let's be honest, is incredibly hard to do through a screen,
Yeah.
and focusing almost entirely on course management.
I was reading the breakdown of how Tangent uses your GPS data to offer these, brutal, data-driven reality checks.
Oh, they are brutal.
Yeah, it calculates your actual dispersion tendencies. And for those who might not know, your dispersion tendency is basically the shotgun spray of where your last 50 shots actually landed versus where you pictured them landing in your head.
Right, the harsh reality versus expectation.
Exactly. So the AI caddy basically tells you, I know you think you can carry that water hazard with a 7-iron, but your own historical data says otherwise.
It's a reality check for sure.
Yeah. AI in golf used to just be a basic speedometer telling you how fast you swung. Now it is a full GPS navigation system telling you exactly how to drive the course.
Absolutely.
But I have to push back here. If the clubs are automatically correcting our mishits with asymmetrical ripples and the AI caddy is doing all the strategic thinking for us, aren't we losing the fundamental skill and the actual physical test of the game?
Well, what's fascinating here is that the AI isn't replacing human judgment. It is surfacing context.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
In the past, golf technology just handed you raw numbers, your spin rate, your launch angle, your ball speed, and just left you alone to decipher what it all meant.
Right, you have to be a mathematician.
Exactly. Now, it translates that raw data into actionable insights. Think of it as democratizing elite-level coaching for the everyday player.
Oh, I see.
Touring professionals have always had world-class caddies pulling massive spreadsheets on wind direction and dispersion patterns. Now, you have that exact same strategic power sitting in your pocket.
That's a great point.
The physical execution of the swing is still entirely on your shoulders, but the strategic blindness has been removed.
So the test of golf becomes less about guessing your yardage and hoping for the best, and much more about successfully executing the correct strategy.
Precisely the point.
Hmm.
However, while technology is making the game easier to navigate for the player, it is simultaneously creating a massive, literal footprint problem for the sport itself.
Right, the real estate issue.
Yeah. Because modern equipment has enabled players to hit the ball so far and so straight, physical golf courses have been forced to expand their borders just to keep up.
And if the physical world is literally running out of space and resources to contain 300-yard drives, the governing bodies eventually have to step in.
They have to.
Here's where it gets really interesting. The USGA and the R&A are pushing back against the technology. They have officially decided to roll back how far the golf ball can fly.
And this stands as one of the most heavily debated decisions in modern sports history.
Oh, people were furious.
Yeah, they were. Originally, the governing bodies proposed a bifurcated plan. That meant touring professionals would use a restricted, rolled-back ball starting in 2028, and everyday amateurs would adopt it in 2030.
Which sounds like a mess.
It would be. The manufacturing industry immediately warned that having two entirely different sets of equipment rules would cause absolute retail chaos at the consumer level.
All right, imagine a guy trying to buy a sleeve of golf balls, and the pro shop has to interrogate him like, well, are you an elite amateur playing a sanctioned USGA event? Or are you just drinking beers and playing with your buddies?
Exactly. It would be a logistical nightmare.
So what did they do?
To avoid that, they shifted to a unified rollout scheduled for January 2030. Every single player will use the rolled back ball.
Wow. Okay.
To achieve this, the USGA changes the testing parameters. Currently, a ball is tested at a 120-mile-per-hour swing speed and cannot fly further than 317 yards.
Okay.
Under the new rule, they will test the ball at a much faster 125 miles per hour, but maintain that exact same 317-yard limit.
Got it.
To pass the test, manufacturers must increase the core compression and alter the aerodynamic dimple depths to intentionally increase drag.
So how much distance are we actually talking about losing here?
For the touring pros who averaged a massive 302.8 yards off the tee in 2025, they're expected to lose about 13 to 15 yards.
And for the rest of us?
The average amateur swinging much slower will only lose about 5 yards or less.
You know, one of the journalists in our sources had a blistering op-ed quote about this.
Oh. I know the one you mean.
Yeah, they pointed out that the governing bodies spent millions of dollars on ball research over the years instead of just limiting the size of the club heads 2 decades ago.
Right.
The writer said this approach is like addressing climate change by creating a government department to build car engines.
It's a harsh critique, but it's out there.
It is. Which naturally leads me to ask, is a 15-yard ball rollback really going to save these historic 100-year-old courses?
No.
Or will the sheer physical fitness and biomechanics of modern athletes just overpower the new rule in a few years anyway, exactly like Rory McIlroy warned?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, we really have to look past the tournament leaderboards. This isn't purely a competitive ruling designed to protect old course records.
Yeah.
No, the sources outline that it is fundamentally a global sustainability mandate. Every 100 yards added to a physical golf course expands its total footprint by about 8 acres.
That's massive.
It is. That is 8 more acres of land, requiring intense daily water usage, heavy maintenance, and nitrogen-rich fertilizers.
Right.
And the manufacturing and application of those fertilizers directly release significant greenhouse gas emissions.
And the sources specifically highlighted a phenomenon called Augusta National Syndrome, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It is the consumer demand for unnaturally perfect emerald green grass year-round, regardless of the local climate or the natural ecology.
And we see the extreme end of that at places like TPC Scottsdale in the Arizona desert.
Right, in the middle of the desert.
To keep that course visually perfect for winter tournaments and television audiences, groundskeepers plant 800 pounds of non-native ryegrass seed per acre.
800 pounds per acre? That's insane.
It requires millions of gallons of water in a drought-prone region just to survive. The ecological toll is immense.
So the rollback is supposed to help with that?
Yes. Analysts suggest that a 5% reduction in driving distance could lead to a 5% reduction in overall water use and maintained acreage globally.
Oh.
It allows golf course architects to return to strategic hazard design, forcing players to navigate complex bunkers and dogleg angles,
Yeah.
rather than blindly lengthening holes to defend against titanium and AI.
Okay, so if the physical courses are fighting a desperate battle to shrink their ecological footprint, the only logical place for the sport to expand is indoors. The
Exact.
virtual courses are expanding massively, bringing us to the rise of new hybrid arenas.
Yeah. TGL, or the Tomorrow Golf League, represents the literal collision of digital technology and physical agronomy.
Right.
Founded by Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy, it officially launched in January 2025 at the custom-built SoFi Center in Palm Beach, Florida.
It is essentially an elite esports tournament crashing headfirst into a traditional buttoned-up country club.
That's a great way to describe it. The players compete inside a massive indoor stadium.
Yeah.
The long drives and approach shots are hit into a simulator screen the size of a commercial IMAX theater.
But not everything is digital, right?
No, the short game, the delicate chipping and putting, takes place on a physical hybrid surface called the green zone.
I love the mechanics of the green zone. It's so cool. Imagine a giant underground game of pin art. You know those retro toys where you press your hand into the metal pins to make a 3D shape?
Yeah, exactly like that.
But instead of little metal pins, the green zone uses 600 heavy-duty motorized hydraulic actuators. The putting surface physically morphs and changes its slopes and contours in real time to recreate the exact digital terrain of whatever virtual hole they are playing on the screen.
Which is incredible engineering. But even more fascinating is what happens outside the building.
Oh, the parking lot stuff.
Sitting in the arena's parking lot is the grasshopper.
A grasshopper.
It's a literal mini sod farm designed to support the indoor arena.
That is wild.
Real grass struggles to survive the punishing environment of an indoor stadium under hot television lights with restricted airflow.
Makes sense.
So the grasshopper grows Tahoma 31 Bermuda grass, which is a highly resilient strain, so groundskeepers can constantly swap fresh, living turf in and out of the arena to maintain major championship conditions.
That is just mind-blowing. And the format they use inside that arena is completely wild, too.
Oh, very different from traditional golf.
They designed it entirely around a tight 2-hour primetime television window. They implemented a strict 40-second shot clock, which is incredibly fast for a sport known for players taking 3 minutes just to read the wind.
Definitely.
Teams can call strategic timeouts. And they introduced the hammer rule, a match play multiplier that lets a team raise the stakes of a single hole.
Though they did have to tweak that.
Yeah, they actually had to update the rule in February 2025, limiting each team to exactly 3 hammers per match, because the leading teams were just hoarding the hammer to defensively ice the other team out.
Right.
But as a golf purist, I really have to ask, does watching touring pros smash a ball into a movie screen actually carry the same emotional weight for a fan as traditional golf? Or is it just a high-tech video game being played on very expensive, real grass?
We have to analyze the necessity of this evolution. Traditional professional golf struggles immensely with pace of play and broadcast access.
It can be slow, yeah.
Asking a modern viewer to sit through a 4-day, 72-hole tournament is a massive time commitment. TGL modernizes the professional game for fast-paced weeknight consumption.
Like Monday Night Football.
Exactly. It blends the genuine physics of a real golf swing with the glossy, fast-moving packaging of modern arena entertainment. It isn't trying to replace the reverence of the Masters. It is providing a completely different entry point for a younger, digital native demographic.
Well, TGL is definitely an attempt to capture those younger fans on television, but our analytics sources reveal a much harsher reality.
They really do.
The younger fans have already migrated away from linear television entirely. They're on YouTube. Welcome to the creator rebellion.
The demographic shift between traditional broadcasts and digital platforms is staggering.
It's unbelievable.
The median age of a traditional PGA Tour viewer on linear television sits at 64 years old.
Wow.
Meanwhile, the audience actively consuming YouTube golf content is overwhelmingly concentrated between the ages of 18 and 34.
And the viewership numbers are genuinely shocking. I mean, the traditional non-major PGA Tour broadcast on a Sunday often struggles to break 1 million viewers.
Right.
But you look over at a YouTube collective like Good. They have nearly 2 million dedicated subscribers, and they pull in 5 to 10 million cumulative views for high-production events like the Creator Classic.
Here, and Good is just the tip of the spear. You have veteran creators like Rick Shields. You have current major champions like Bryson DeChambeau leaning heavily into full-time content creation.
Bryson's channel is huge.
Yeah. You have Grand Horvat and deeply niche channels like Taco Golf.
Oh, Taco Golf is a perfect example of this cultural shift. It focuses entirely on chaotic, relatable fun.
That's cool.
It highlights the banter between friends, the inevitable shanked shots, and the casual 19th hole vibes. It provides the exact opposite energy of a quiet, hyper-serious 72-hole professional grind.
It feels like you're just hanging out with your buddies.
Exactly. But how does that affect the business side?
This shift in viewership fundamentally rewrites the economics of the sport. A traditional PGA Tour title sponsorship costs a corporate brand anywhere from $3 to $6 million.
That's a huge chunk of change.
And that only buys them a few days of television exposure. Conversely, a year-long, deeply integrated partnership with a major YouTube creator costs a brand between $500,000 and $850,000.
Wow. And the marketing sources show those creator partnerships yield 3 to 5 times higher active engagement.
Yeah, the ROI is massive.
Just look at the equipment company DeChambeau Golf. They utilized a direct-to-consumer model and built their entire global business exclusively through YouTube creators.
It's a brilliant strategy.
They completely bypassed the massive overhead of retail shelf space and traditional tour sponsorships. They relied entirely on the parasocial trust built by vloggers.
And it worked.
It really did. They ended up facing 10-week back orders for their irons without ever opening a single physical retail store.
Which is incredible.
So what does this all mean? If I'm an executive at a major global brand, and these creators are significantly cheaper while providing exponentially more engagement with a younger demographic, why would I ever authorize spending millions of dollars on a PGA Tour broadcast again?
Well, this raises an important question regarding the concept of media fragmentation. It is not a zero-sum game where one platform completely destroys the other.
Okay, fair enough.
Traditional broadcasts still hold immense, irreplaceable value for unscripted, high-stakes live drama.
Right, the majors.
When you watch the back nine of a major championship on a Sunday afternoon, you are watching elite athletes operating under unimaginable career-defining pressure. Viewers cannot and do not want to skip the advertisements during those massive cultural moments.
You really cannot script the tension of a live playoff hole as the sun is going down.
Exactly the point.
Yeah.
But for everyday entertainment, for relatable community building, and for lower stakes daily viewing, the independent creators have definitively won the battle.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The future of golf media is coexistence, not total displacement. Major brands will continue to use the traditional tour to signal prestige and broad reach, and they will deploy their budgets to digital creators to build deep, active engagement and brand loyalty.
It is a totally fascinating, deeply complex hybrid reality. We have taken a real journey today.
We really have.
If we bring all these sources full circle, the golfer of the future isn't defined by just one specific trait. They exist in an ecosystem where they are swinging clubs, engineered by supercomputers and artificial intelligence.
Right.
They are playing a rolled-back golf ball to help conserve water on ecologically conscious courses, and they are consuming a wild, fragmented mix of high-tech stadium leagues under arena lights, right alongside incredibly relatable YouTube creator content on their phones.
And the vital connective tissue running through all of these technological and cultural developments is accessibility.
Absolutely.
The historic barriers to entry are rapidly breaking down.
For you listening right now, whether you are prepping for a casual weekend scramble, or you are nerding out over your own launch monitor data in the garage, or you are just watching a YouTube match on the couch, all of these developments are actively democratizing the game.
Yeah, they really are.
They're taking a sport that was once strictly locked behind exclusive country club gates and making the tools, the strategies, and the entertainment completely accessible to you.
The elite resources that used to belong solely to touring professionals are now distributed directly to the consumer.
Exactly. Now, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to mull over, something that builds on everything we've explored today.
Oh, let's hear it.
As virtual simulators and 3D motion tracking technology become truly indistinguishable from physical reality, what happens when everyday amateurs can finally link their home simulators directly to a live major championship broadcast?
That's a crazy thought.
Imagine teeing off in your own living room in real time, playing exactly alongside Scottie Scheffler or Rory McIlroy. You are competing on the exact same digital rendering of Augusta National, dealing with the exact same simulated wind and weather conditions that they are facing on the broadcast.
Wow.
At that point, when the digital and physical arenas merge entirely, does physical geography even dictate who the best golfer in the world is?
It is a profound question that challenges the very definition of a global sport. The lines separating the physical fairway from the virtual arena are only going to blur further in the coming decade.
If you enjoy this kind of content, please subscribe to our channel.
It really helps us continue creating and delivering content like this for you in the future.